In the top stories, residents speak with government ministers at town hall meeting in Nevis. Prime Minister Harris meets with constituents at one-on-one consultations. And Minister Brantley calls on everyone to take advantage of scholarship opportunities. The details on these stories and more after the break.
Love is in the air at Courts. Make your credit purchase of $499 and over for your big chance at winning an all-inclusive weekend getaway for two to the lovely island of St. Lucia. Plus, when you shop, you pay nothing for 30 days. This offer valid from February 6 to 18. Love is in the air, so celebrate with a romantic weekend getaway. Don't wait. Shop at Courts today. Courts, bringing value home.
Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. I'm Carla Barrage. Citizens and residents of St. Kitts and Nevis were given the opportunity to speak with government ministers during a town hall meeting at the St. Paul's Anglican Church Hall in Charlestown. The meeting is part of the week of activities celebrating the government's second anniversary in office. The event featured addresses by Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, Premier of Nevis Honorable Vance Amory, and Deputy Premier Honorable Mark Brantley. Questions were also posed to the Honorable Wendy Phipps and Honorable Ian Liebert. The week of activities continued on Tuesday with cabinet ministers and other government officials holding wide-ranging consultations with community members from 4 p.m. And in a related story, ZIZ News caught up with Prime Minister Harris ahead of his one-on-one consultations with constituents this evening. He said this is a unique opportunity that no one could afford to miss.
This is a reflection that we understand that the power comes from the people, and the people put us there, and we are accountable to them. We are not saying come to Basti at our offices. We are leaving our offices to go to the people.
He said in areas where persons do not have an elected member of government, there will still be representatives available to hear their concerns.
The persons who will be leading these particular consultation have access to the government and to the government system. We expect that they would listen, that they will take note and notice of the concerns of the people and their expressions, that they will come back to the cabinet and we could make a determination on those aspects of the concerns which are immediately actionable and those that we will have to prioritize for further action at a later date.
The one-on-one consultations form part of the government's activities to mark their second anniversary since taking office. Minister of Foreign Affairs Honorable Mark Brantley has revealed that there are scholarship opportunities available for citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis to study abroad. During a town hall meeting in Nevis on Monday, Minister Brantley announced that there are 20 scholarships available for study in Morocco.
I want to encourage you to encourage your children, the young people, that Morocco has offered us 20 scholarships for study in that country per year. And that for me is important. What is even more important is that our people take the opportunity. Too often, we go out and we seek to negotiate these arrangements, whether it's with Mexico, Cuba, Taiwan, Switzerland, New Zealand, Morocco, even this country in Europe called Georgia. We have been able to get scholarships offered to our young people.
He urged young people of the Federation to take advantage of these opportunities.
I know of too many of our people who come back with a degree, and for the first 10 years of their working life, they're paying student loan. Money they could have been using to build a little house or to improve themselves, they're paying student loan. And I'm saying to those who are here and those who might be outside listening that we as a government are working hard to create the opportunities for you. But having created them, you must grab them. And you must grab them with both hands.
Minister Brantley also noted that there is a low number of persons taking advantage of study opportunities offered. Senator Akila Byron Nisbet paid a visit to the Dr. William Connor Primary School on Tuesday as part of the government's week of activities to mark its second year in office. The senator told Zara she is pleased with the school and commended the principal and staff for the work they are doing.
It's been fantastic being here. They're in their sports term. I was able to meet with these kids in their different houses. They had house assembly this morning with Pumas in the lead, I do believe. And I was also able to meet each individual classroom, and it was really fun and exciting to meet with the students. They're very excited about being in school, and we had a lot of fun this morning. And so I am very pleased with what I'm seeing here at the Dr. William Connor Primary School. I admire the work that the principal, deputy principal, and the staff are doing, and so I commend them, and hopefully we can work together to see how we can improve more.
She made an appeal to the public to help the school get the equipment they need.
And I will make an appeal on behalf of the principal that the school needs many equipment such as computers. They have a computer lab and most of the computers are not working, and they really would like to be able to have some computers. So as much as the government can help, I'm sure there are also other persons who are willing to be able to support the school also. So if you just have a computer, maybe one or two, one fill baskets, so everybody could support.
Throughout the day, ministers of government visited schools across the Federation, interacting with students and teachers. Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris also visited schools in constituency number 7, including the Violet Petty, Joshua Obadiah, Estridge, and Edgar T. Morris primary schools.
This has been a very joyous occasion for me, having visited the 4 schools in my constituency. I want to commend and congratulate all of the schools for their level of organization and for the celebration of Valentine. I want particularly to congratulate Dale Phipps of Mansion, the head teacher at the Violet Primary School, for the well-organized way in which they received us, they prepared for us, and for celebrating, allowing the students to celebrate in their colors.
After the break, the Prime Minister says the Federation maintains a surplus of funds and Nevis Sixth Form College to host 45th Annual Leeward Islands Debating Competition. The details when we come back. Welcome back. Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris says the government has managed to maintain a surplus of funds despite the numerous activities and initiatives which have been implemented over 2 years. He made the statement during Monday night's Good Governance and Accountability for Prosperity Town Hall meeting in Nevis. Willful waste makes woeful want, said the Prime Minister, commenting that there has been no waste of the public funds.
And we don't want no woeful want in the country. So you must be proud of your government, because even when we are doing all of these things, the country is still in surplus. We are managing the books of the country well. The fiscal house of St. Kitts and Nevis is in order.
The Prime Minister said the surplus is evident according to what the government's accounts, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the Caribbean Development Bank, the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, and the International Monetary Fund have reported.
All of them have commended your government. We are an above average performer. And we are among the best performing countries, not just in the OECS, in the entire world.
Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris. Zara took to the streets of Bastia on Tuesday to find out what Valentine's Day means to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Shira Flanders tells us more.
So we're downtown Bastia, and we're about to find out what people in St. Kitts and Nevis think about the whole idea of Valentine's Day celebrations.
Yes, I like to spend time with my kids and my sister, yes, and my boyfriend, both of Archibald. Yes.
I do not actually celebrate it on the exact day, and that is because I had some sad experiences of being left on the back burner by girls.
You can't just say like you celebrate a certain day, but every day is special, you know?
Valentine's not a one-day thing. Because if it's a one-day thing, it doesn't make sense getting love.
Valentine's is a time for love, family, togetherness, and you just show it by buying something, or you just spend time. You go out or even have dinner at home.
Been married 50 years, and so this is part of our 50-year celebration, I guess. We go out and usually eat.
Cards or going out to
exchange
eat.
cards, you know. We don't.
It's not a big. It's not like Christmas.
I am not really a person who celebrates Valentine's because I don't feel as if you should wait for one particular day to tell somebody that you love them. I believe that love should be shown 365 days.
And well, a number of people did tell us their expectations, and some of them were positive, but we did have a few who did not necessarily like the whole idea of celebrating Valentine's Day.
It can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing, because if you have somebody who loves you, or if you love that person and it turns out that they break your heart, it wouldn't be good.
My wife died and my mom died. Then me got a woman to talk about buying until you got a girlfriend really, but me ain't believe in this kind of business.
I don't always celebrate it, but I don't have a reason not to.
Me feel nothing about Valentine's Day. It's just like a normal day.
Valentine, where Valentine come from? Me don't know think more Valentine. And first of all, you know what love be? God is love. 7 words of love. God is love, so let us all love. So me born Valentine, me not defend the Valentine.
I don't celebrate Valentine's because me don't know the meaning, so why should I celebrate what me don't know about?
I really think not about it because me got nobody to celebrate Valentine's Day, so I celebrate it with myself.
And even though we had a bit of mixed responses about the whole idea of Valentine's Day, of course the underlying factor is we should celebrate friends, family and loved ones every day of the year. Reporting for ZIZ News, I am Shaira Flanders.
The Tyrrell Williams Primary School brought some love to the elderly in the area on Tuesday when they delivered love baskets for Valentine's Day.
The school has teamed up with the Department of Youth Empowerment to reach out to the elderly in the community and show love and appreciation. Throughout the morning, students and teachers visited the homes to present each with a love basket.
On behalf of Ministry of Youth Empowerment, staff and teachers of the Tyrrell Williams Primary School, I present to you this love basket. Happy Valentine's Day, Darius.
On behalf of everybody, I thank you very much for this lovely basket. Hopefully to see many more Valentine. Thank you.
Principal Stuart Joseph told ZIZ that the school normally distributes food to the elderly, and they decided to work with the Department of Youth Empowerment to distribute the love baskets. He said the event was so successful that they plan to host it again next year. Other events for the elderly are planned, such as a breakfast and a dinner, but for now it's all about showing them that they too are loved on Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone!
Jason Davis for ZIZ News.
The Literary and Debating Society of the Nevis Sixth Form College will host the 2017 Leeward Islands Debating Competition. The event, which is in its 45th year, runs from February 23rd to 26th, nightly from 6:30 p.m. at the Nevis Performing Arts Center. 7 islands will participate: St. Kitts, Montserrat, Antigua, Anguilla, St. Martin, the British Virgin Islands, and Nevis. The debaters are expected to be on island by February 22nd. They are expected to attend a welcome cocktail hosted by Premier of Nevis, Honorable Vance Amory. Topics to be debated include the high cost of youth unemployment relief programs outweighs the benefits, the global rise in anti-immigration sentiment is justified, Caribbean educational practices lag far behind other regions, and Caribbean cybercrime legislation will lead to the suppression of free expression. Joshua Brown, coordinator of the Literary and Debating Society, says that although they have had challenges, plans are being put in place to ensure a successful event. He noted that they have been planning since September and fundraising is ongoing. The LIDC was founded in 1972 by George Irish of Montserrat. The event, which began with 3 participating islands, Montserrat, St. Kitts, and Antigua, has evolved into an annual event. Coming up, Ghana police investigate murder-suicide. The details when we come back. Welcome back. In Guyana, police are investigating an incident of murder-suicide that left a mother and daughter dead. Reports indicate that the woman's partner hung himself after killing and setting them both on fire. HGP's Travis Chase has the details.
The charred bodies of 26-year-old Latoya Telford, 34-year-old Leonard Pollard, and his 1-year-old daughter, Nicasia Pollard, were found here in the debris at sunrise Sunday morning. Fire crews rushed to the Betafawacting home after 4 a.m. Sunday. When they got there, the house had already been engulfed in flames. Police are now working on the theory of murder-suicide. Investigators believe that Pollard had lured Telford to the home, hacked her and his daughter to death before setting the house on fire. His brother, who spoke with Nightly News at the scene, said that the couple had separated over text messages the man had seen from another man in Latoya's phone.
They was together all the time. Up until recent, they started getting problem, and he kind of like find shoot somebody else or come to me to reading text message that she and some other guy meeting up and so on. I tried to tell him, let this girl go along her way.
Police now know that Telford and Pollard had separated since last November. Telford had been with her mother and her other children at Parfait Harmony in the west bank of Demerara. She left Saturday afternoon to visit Pollard, who had reportedly been begging for her return.
Not to my knowing. I never heard they ever had these kind of threatening things going on between them, but they would get an argument. She would leave and stuff.
They lived together here?
Yeah.
How many persons lived in this house?
Along with myself, I used to live downstairs.
Yes.
He and she used to live upstairs up until recently she moved out, so it's just he alone used to upstairs.
Neighbors heard no strange noises from the house, but were alerted when smoke bellowed from the wooden premises. Pollard's brother told reporters that he had suspected that his brother was up to something the last time they spoke.
Before he go to work, he upstairs there and I sense that he gonna do something. I said to him, do not let this girl come to this house. Mommy don't want her here. You know that we won't feel comfortable here with she here. If you let this girl come here, I sense something gonna happen to you or to this house. I said, look, money, look after yourself. I gonna help you till you pick yourself up. You can't do nothing until you get to work with mind and children.
The bodies were removed in one box, all in parts. Telford's mother admitted that there were problems, one of which she knew of.
The brother-in-law and then was getting problem with the house. So she decided to come by BLA because she said the mother-in-law said they must move out. I said to come, have a room for you there. She did come across, she asked me last year, no? Last year time, but then she told me she was going to cross by her grandfather yesterday. And I leave her there, I don't know nothing else might happen.
Crime scene investigators are awaiting an autopsy report to glean additional details on the deaths. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
The Barbados Cadet Corps Band is finding new ways to recruit and increase its numbers over the next 2 years. More in this Nation News Barbados report.
The sights and sounds of a military parade took over the main guard of the garrison on Saturday. There, the Barbados Cadet Corps Band staged a special showcase aimed at attracting more young people to the group. The band is looking to expand its membership by around 100 people over the next 3 years. Here's some of what was on show.
Coming up, residents afraid to return to a northern Iraqi town after ISIL, and Mexico doubles deportations of U.S.-bound migrants. The details when we come back. Donald Trump's strong rhetoric against Mexican migrants and talk of building a wall has inflamed public opinion there. But the number of people deported from Mexico has doubled in recent years, as well as reports of abuse by border agents. More in this report.
When Donald Trump said this about Mexican migrants,
they're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
Mexico was outraged. And since he signed the order for this,
we'll begin immediate construction of a border wall.
Insisting Mexico will pay, the public and government's indignation has increased.
I condemn the United States' decision to continue construction of a wall.
But despite the country's anger, rights organizations say Mexican authorities themselves are guilty of rejecting and even mistreating migrants. Undocumented migrants cross this river into Mexico. Many of them are fleeing from Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, countries with overwhelming violence. But instead of sanctuary here, they face gangs that prey on them and government authorities, some of whom are even involved in the crimes against them. Over the last couple of years, the Mexican government's implemented its own invisible wall of patrols and checkpoints across the southern border. That's doubled the number of deportations, acting as a useful filter for the US further up. Migrants have also accused Mexican police and border agents of robbery, extortion, and even kidnapping. National media say almost 700 cases have been brought against authorities. Guillermo ran for his life from a gang in El Salvador, trying to find safety and work. But instead, Mexican police stole the little cash he had.
It was my rent money, and so they kicked me out and I had to sleep in the street. I lost my job, also because my boss wouldn't wait while I looked for help.
The Migrant Rights Center that supported Guillermo says Mexican authorities have a double standard.
There's always been double talk where it seems that the Central American migrants don't matter, where nothing is done to prevent the same human rights violations that Mexican migrants suffer in the US.
Federal authorities didn't answer our interview requests, but the fact that Mexico stops many Central Americans from making it to the US border could actually be a bargaining chip in its negotiations with the Trump administration. The countries may find more common ground in their tough immigration stances than Mexico at least would care to admit. John Holman, Al Jazeera, Tapachula.
ISIL may have been driven out of the northern Iraqi town of Sinjar, but most of its people are afraid to return home. Kurdish forces now in charge say they are still discovering networks of tunnels, even as ISIL fires mortars from nearby bases. Here's more.
When everything around you has been turned to rubble, scavenging is the best job available. Sarhan Jundi and his brother helped their father look for things for those returning to the northern Iraqi town of Sinjar. Some of what they find they give away, and they sell the rest. Kurdish forces backed by coalition airstrikes took Sinjar from ISIL in 2015, but not much has changed since then. The town's mostly Yazidi residents are living in camps for internally displaced people. Jundi's mother and sister are too scared to return.
There is nothing here, no food, no services. ISIL mortars are hitting us. Even children are afraid to come back to Sinjar. We need everything: water, electricity, food, and money to live with dignity.
Destroyed homes and deserted neighborhoods hide tales of systematic looting, torture and rape under ISIL. Arab villages which face revenge attacks near the town are also eerily quiet, with no signs of life. Once this used to be the bustling center of Sinjar. Now it's part of a ghost town. It's hard to imagine how people will come back to destruction like this, and officials here are calling for help. Even Sinjar's mayor doesn't live or work in his own town.
Sinjar needs much efforts to be rebuilt. We need the psychological and financial support. But the government in Baghdad didn't live up to its promises. The Kurdish regional government is going through a financial crisis, and the United Nations is not doing much at all.
The lack of basics, including running water and electricity, make the town almost uninhabitable. The front lines are just a few kilometers away, and ISIL shells and drone grenades continue to fall here. There is also the threat from unexploded bombs and traps left hidden in homes. Security officials here tell us that they've found at least 30 large tunnels in the town of Sinjar, and networks like these are being found every single day. There's also a complex tug-of-war between local forces and international powers. Redevelopment is far down the list of priorities. And many here fear that unless the international community acts, and quickly, Sinjar may become a bleak example of post-ISIL recovery in Iraq. Usama bin Javed, Al Jazeera, Sinjar.
Up next is sports. Collins in Ostrava for the Czech Indoor Gala, and Lance Armstrong to face jury in federal fraud case. Stay tuned.
Love is in the air at Courts. Make your credit purchase of $499 and over for your big chance at winning an all-inclusive weekend getaway for two to the lovely island of St. Lucia. Plus, when you shop, you pay nothing for 30 days. This offer valid from February 6 to 18. Love is in the air, so celebrate with a romantic weekend getaway. Don't wait. Shop at Courts today. Courts, bringing value home.
National sprint icon Kim Collins is in Ostrava this weekend for the Czech Indoor Gala. He and other international athletics figures are headlining the event slated for Tuesday. Collins, who in 2013 won gold at the World Championships in Paris, said at age 40 athletics is still fun for him. He told online publication Czech Noviny, quote, "Even at my age, athletics is incredibly fun, and I think still I run good times. I came to win and have a good time," end quote. Collins is slated to run the 60-meter dash. Disgraced cycling champion Lance Armstrong is set to face a jury over a $100 million lawsuit from the government resulting from his years on the Tour de France.
This morning, Lance Armstrong, the one-time sporting icon who has mostly disappeared from public view and is now hosting his own eclectic podcast from the wine cellar of his home, is now facing a new challenge. A federal judge ruling Monday that the U.S. government's massive $100 million case against Armstrong will move forward, a development the disgraced former Tour de France champion had fought hard to avoid.
This is a devastating turn of events for a man who used to be an American hero and now is just seeing one bad thing after another happen in his life.
The case stems from this. The United States Postal Service sponsored Armstrong's team. We now know Armstrong was on a lot more than just his bike, despite years of denials, even lying under oath.
I've never taken performance-enhancing drugs. How many times do I have to say it?
The U.S. government claims the Postal Service wouldn't have paid more than $32 million to sponsor Armstrong's team if it knew he was cheating. But Armstrong argued he brought them far more value during years of good publicity, asking the judge to throw the case out. The judge disagreed, ruling damages must therefore be left to a jury. I have spoken with Armstrong about the case. He says his lawyers won't let him comment, but he is clearly frustrated. This case could cost him everything. A trial date has not yet been set.
After a pre-match rendition of the German national anthem that included a verse associated with the Nazi era, the United States Tennis Association has apologized. The error took place Saturday at the Fed Cup tournament in Hawaii before a quarterfinal match. American Alison Risk and Germany's Andrea Petkovic were matched up.
After an outdated stanza of the German national anthem that later became associated with the Nazi regime was sung during the opening ceremonies, the United States took a 1-0 lead and was ahead in the other opening match in its best-of-5 Fed Cup quarterfinal Saturday. The stanza of the anthem that was sung translates to "Germany, Germany, above all in the world," which became identified with Adolf Hitler's Third Reich. Andrea Petkovic said after her loss, "I thought it was the epitome of ignorance, and I've never felt more disrespected in my whole life, let alone in Fed Cup. I've played Fed Cup for 13 years now, and it is the worst thing that has ever happened to me."
When we come back, we'll have another look at the stories that made the headlines. Recapping the top stories, residents speak with government minister at town hall meeting in Nevis. Prime Minister Harris meets with constituents at one-on-one consultations. And Minister Brantley calls on everyone to take advantage of scholarship opportunities. And that's the end of the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carla Verge. Goodbye.